Want more coins to boost your team? Need that new card? MMO EXP. Cheapest and most reliable coins on the internet. Use code SCOMO for 5% off. Yay! Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back. Going to have a little fun. This is going to be a part 1 of a 4-part miniseries that actually could turn into a longer miniseries and doing more stuff like this with CC. If you guys want to see this on the channel, man, watch the video. If you guys like this, man, drop a like. If you guys want to see more of these type of videos with me and CC, maybe add Toke Nasty and stuff like that, or some other guests, and do all kinds of like fun videos like this, man, drop a like on this video, man. I want to see what kind of support you guys. I'm trying to think a little something outside the box. I know some people maybe did some stuff kind of like this, but I hit up my boy McCullough Plays. He put the graphics and everything, bro. It looks so good for us to actually do the full tier list of all these abilities, man. But I'm going to jump into it. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's call CC.
Hello? Hello?
We are back.
You are back.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys know who CC is already, but I didn't want to do this tier list by myself because I don't take myself as like the professional gamer, a guy that plays a lot of weekend league, a guy that actually sits down, labs, and grinds Madden. And that's what CC does. Like, CC, do you take yourself as like a guy who like really feels like you dive in and dissect Madden? You know Madden, right?
Yes. Sure. Yeah.
You've played a few games of weekend league in the past?
Quite a few.
Would you say you have possibly played more weekend league games than anyone besides Jacoby, who plays on multiple accounts all the time?
I'm at least tied for first.
Tied for first in most weekend league games all time. I
would say yes, for sure.
Okay, so do you feel like that gives you a little bit of validation on knowing what you're talking about?
I do, and it's more around not just like playing the game, but experimenting and trying to learn what is best, and not just from myself, but speaking to other players who play a lot as well. Right? It's not just a lot of the pro players. They will run with what's popular, right? And they essentially are told what to run. And instead of being told what to run, I always try to figure things out for myself. And so that's why we've run through, and I believe I've used most of these at some point or another.
Right. So I wanted to bring CC on to actually help me do this, because if you guys watch me, you know, stream and do gameplay and do some of the other stuff, like when I'm giving you actual, like, I feel like gameplay, playing information, tips on cards, like what to do, schemes and stuff like that. If you guys known for a long time, I've always been a big supporter of Madden Turf, and that's what CC does, is he works with the Madden Turf crew. But like, if I'm going to sit here and do this tier list, basically everything I was going to try to repeat to you was going to be things they've pretty much told me, and what I've learned and seen by pretty much what they have told me. So I figured instead of just reiterating what CC has told me, I figured I'd just bring them on.
That is it's a much better idea.
All right.
Much better.
So we have the tier list, and once again, big shout out to McCullough, because this thing looks good. Like, we have everything up here all organized, and there are a ton of abilities. So like him actually getting all this up here, this is really good. And like I said, this is going to be the first one. Offensive abilities. This is not super star X factors. This is just the abilities from quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. I really didn't add any lineman stuff in there. And the reason being is I just feel like most people aren't using it. Now, I know there's a few people out there that do like a few of the stuff on there, and I'll let CC kind of touch base on that. But like, do you feel like if you're going to be ranking offense abilities, like, are you eliminating any of the offensive line? Do you feel like I did a good job? I'm just saying like those aren't the move unless like you're specifically doing something, or like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I feel like they're too specific to a scheme, really, where they can work or not work. Something like the protected doesn't really seem to always do a lot, but if you have a scheme that could really benefit from identifier, that would make sense to have out there on a lineman or a quarterback to save a slot. But a lot of the times you just don't run into it anymore, so it's fair.
All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. If you guys don't know what a tier list is, basically S is going to be the need it category, and then trash basically is you don't want that. And then as things go by, obviously when we're doing this, you could definitely add A's and B's to your team. You know, if your play style and your team and you really like to do something and you see an ability that you saw on the A and B list, don't think because you're using an A or B list tier ability that you're doing something wrong. Now, S is going to be probably what we use and probably think is going to be the most overpowered and what we get and see the most success out of. But A's and B's are probably still going to be good enough. C's and D's I'd probably stay away from. And obviously, you know, trash is, you know, pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to jump right into it. And the first one is going to be armbar.
Oh, we love armbar. Everyone loves armbar. Very, I don't want to call anything overpowered because I think that's not fair.
Right.
But I've used it right now.
Right. Everyone talks about armbar.
Everyone knows that basically your armbar, your bruiser, your jukebox, evasive, those are all just going to be up in the S tier anyway because they are they're really game changing for you. They can actually make or break a scheme a lot of times.
Right, so you feel like if you're using the right players with the right scheme, armbar, S tier, up on the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Next one is going to be Backfield Mismatch. Now, I do got to admit, I feel like I've definitely been agged by, like, the running back just streaking out of the backfield against my linebacker, like, on 10 people out into the middle of the field. Like, I feel like it works, but, like, what's your opinion on this one?
I'm just middle of the road. I don't think it's not trash. I don't think it's overpowered. I put it at C personally.
Okay.
We've tried it. We've used it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it works, but
it definitely works in the right situation versus the right opponent, right?
Right. I'm using other ones over it probably.
Exactly. All right. Next one, bruiser. I love the pictures. Like I feel like not all of them go to correctly, but most of them match pretty good. We got bruiser here is the next one.
Yeah, let's just toss it up at S. We all know bruiser is your armbar and your trucking. Just toss it up there.
Okay, and then your next one is going to be, what is this? This one
bulldozer.
Bulldozer is going to be our next one.
Yeah, and bulldozer, I don't really find myself trucking and getting super animations out of it. I don't know if other people have. I think maybe sometimes you fall forward. Maybe it's placebo effect, but I don't like it personally. I don't really truck. I don't think anyone actually really tries to truck.
Like you already fall forward enough. You already have that momentum with everything else that you're going. So it's just like kind of like one of those things that might give you a little edge, but because you already are getting that natural like fall forward because the game, that's how it plays. Like, yeah, no one's really using this one. The next one is going to be evasive. This is one of the pictures that absolutely has nothing to do. Like, I wouldn't picture the giant flexing muscle as evasive, but our next one is evasive. This one I think a lot of people use. Where do you put this one at? Yeah,
it's got to be an S because the spin and the juke, they're both super effective. No, it's up there.
Okay. Next one is going to be inside zone guru. Okay, so this is going to be like the running backs. Like, I feel like I've used a few of them. And if you can maybe explain to us a little bit, like, what runs are inside zone and then which runs are outside zone. Because you hear zone, but if I'm correct, a outside zone is a stretch play, correct?
Yeah, so inside zone it's a zone run, right? So like a halfback zone or an actual inside zone. And do these work, right? Does inside zone guru or outside zone guru work?
Right.
The people light up, right? So that makes me think that it's working. But does it really, really work? Does it do that much more? I don't know. But it's one of those things where if I have a slot, I'm gonna use it just in case it's really working, right? Because it's not a quantifiable thing. So I would put it probably at B tier, just because I mean I would use it, and I would use both of them.
I've been using it a little bit on Eric Dickerson, and I feel like in the right situations, like you can get some big holes. Now, is that just because you're calling the right play and he's in a pass formation and you just hit him with a good inside zone out of ace twins or something like that, or is it actually working and helping your blockers just open up that hole? It's so hard to tell. It is so hard to tell, but I've been using it, and it seems like I get good inside zone runs for the most part.
Right, but at the same point, you've also lost yards on inside zone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On good sheds. So I just put it there, just because I would rather have it. And I would just put outside zone guru up there right now too, just to do it the other way.
You would put just outside zone guru, the same thing, both things. Okay.
Yeah, they're like the same as far as we can tell.
The next one here was a lot of fun for about 5 hours. Myself had fun with a nice little tweak. This one came out and everyone was freaking out because like the first experience was like in like a arcade mode type of solo, but Leapfrog. What you feeling?
Leapfrog, it's kind of trash.
It's kind of trash.
It works, sort of.
It works sort of. It does kind of work sort of.
It does work.
So do we move it to D because it actually does work?
Put it at D. It works, but
because I feel like if you have pin and pull guru, explain exactly what a pin and pull is, and then do you feel like this works?
It's basically pitch, toss, and counter.
Okay.
Again, it sort of would fall with inside zone guru, outside zone guru.
Right.
Except that pitches and tosses are really, really bad runs.
They just aren't working this year.
Yeah, so it does give better blocking or stronger blocking, I guess, technically.
Right.
But again, like with B, but except they're on run plays that aren't very useful. So I would just put it at D, just because it's not an abilities fault. It's just the usefulness of it.
Okay, I got you. I think this is this human joystick?
It is.
We haven't really actually got to use human joystick yet, have we?
I have.
Oh, you have? Oh,
I have.
See? Once again, that's why I had the experienced guy on the call. What you think? Human joystick.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Is it an S tier? Like if you're able to get this on your guy, is it an automatic put on your guy?
On maybe a running back.
Okay.
Maybe. I put it at A. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's not going to come into the game for a long time. It just gives you superior control for the most part.
So this one here is going to be identified. We talked about it a little bit with Lyman, but a quarterback can get it also. I know you said earlier, like you feel like this is really scheme based, but we know it works. This is definitely one that we know it works, but
it does the work. I would just put it at C.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're either going to be like, I need this for my offense, or I don't need it.
Okay.
There's no in between. So we'll just put it a little bit lower there, since, I mean, we all know, hey, it works.
Right. But exactly.
It's not the most popular thing.
Jukebox is going to be our next one.
Just toss it up at S. We all know Jukebox is great.
Okay, so now on to quarterback abilities, basically here. So, Agile Extender. What exactly does this do? Does it do anything? What do you think?
It helps you break a sack by a defensive back only.
So if you're facing an opponent, or if the meta, say, for Weekend League was blitzing a lot of DBs like in past or something like this could be something good.
Yeah, when Dollar was super popular, this would have been something that could have been helpful, but now not the most helpful. I guess it works, but I would put it in D, just because this one is actually very similar. The first one, Agile Extender, is evading a sack. This one is breaking a sack.
Okay, what's the difference?
I think one just helps you run away quicker.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay.
And this one actually helps you break the sack, but again, the same
like
thing.
More of a pocket QB, break the sack, or I don't know.
Yeah, so like think of Big Ben or Cam Newton or something like that. But I find that a lot of times with blitzing DBs anyway, you do kind of break the sack a lot of times with these mobile quarterbacks have very high break sack rating, so it's not really necessary.
All right, I know this next one is something that a lot of people talk about and people are really wanting on a lot of their quarterbacks. Dashing Deadeye. What you think?
Yeah, it's got to be an S tier.
Okay.
Simply because the way the game plays, where if you are standing still,
right,
your throwing animation is slow. If you're on the run, it's not. So you can get the faster animation and perfect accuracy.
So more than likely,
sense.
you want to be throwing on the run, and when you're throwing on the run, this gives you perfect accuracy. So definitely seems like a good one to me. And the next one I feel like is going to be right up there next to it. Escape Artist. Is this pretty much the S of the S?
Yeah, it is.
We're going to put this one like all the way up here. This is the number one of the number one, pretty much.
Right. It's just, I don't know why they nerfed mobility so much, but you need it. Like you can't even use like quarterbacks without escape artists. Like Vic, it feels slow.
Right.
So.
And then is fast break basically right there with it because it's just the tandem of the two, or is fast break not as necessary and you have that like an A tier? What do you feel?
I'd put it at A tier. Okay. It's still good. It's less good as the patches have gone on and quarterback fumbles have gone up. So it's still very useful, but it's not this overpowering sort of mechanic anymore.
Now, the next one is Gusty Scrambler. Is that basically dashing Deadeye, but just not as good?
No. This just means that you can't get pressured while you're throwing on the run.
Okay. So that means like if you have... Now, does this counter the ability, say you're playing a guy that has that lineman that
like
makes
under pressure.
It, like, the under pressure one. Does this actually counter that under pressure coming to you?
I would assume so, but at the same point, a lot of times if you're just moving in the pocket anyway, the passes, like how many times have we all seen, like under pressure, accurate, show up, and like the ball is like 5 yards away. So like,
definitely,
I do not trust Gutsy Scrambler. I don't trust it so much. I'd put it in the D. Yeah, I'd put it in D.
Yeah, we're putting it down in D. Okay. QB Lastditch. I don't think I know what this one is.
It's when someone can basically throw the ball away as they're getting sacked. It does work.
Okay.
It does work. And you can use it in a... So,
you get that, like, glitchy animation from, like, back in the day where the ball just, like, flies out from the side of you. Like, we've all seen that Madden glitch, like, when the ball's down and the ball just, like, flies out. Is that basically what it's doing?
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people really use it. Because a lot of people are using the scrambler quarterbacks.
Okay.
And it works, right? I've played people using it, and it works.
Okay.
As the year goes on, maybe people have it in, like, tier 1 slot. But right now, you can basically only get in tier 3 if you're using Vic or Lamar or someone like that. Okay. And obviously, you're not doing that.
Right.
But I'd put it at C. Okay. It does work. Maybe at a certain point, it's more helpful. Maybe not. I don't know.
So the next one basically is going to be the Patrick Mahomes ability. They put in the game, I'm guessing, basically exactly for Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be the no-look Deadeye. Is that basically, I think, what this is?
Yeah, it really is. Nobody uses this a lot.
Can you just run the other way and throw across the field and just like throw dots? Like, is this what we're doing out here?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it works. It works.
Is this a B?
I'd put it at B. It's like dashing Deadeye, but reversed, sort of.
All right. So now, once again, and this is why I'm glad I brought you on here, because I'm learning things. What's the difference between dashing Deadeye and the next one here on the list, roaming Deadeye?
Roaming Deadeye means you're standing still outside of the pocket.
Okay. I got it.
Which basically you should be, if you're standing still in this game, your quarterback should be accurate regardless.
And if you're standing still in this game, you're probably getting sacked. But let's be real.
Right. Like, does it work? I mean, sure. But I wouldn't use it just because being outside the pocket is a lot of trouble if you're staying still.
Okay, so D. Okay.
Yeah.
Safety valve. I feel like this is one that I've used, and I feel like it is very useful. I feel like I've seen maybe comp guys and some other guys put this on some of their salary cap teams when you watch some of the the comp games and streams and stuff like that. But what do you think of safety valve?
I actually really like it. I've noticed it when I was using Bo Jackson a lot, and oddly enough, his catching is not good despite being an athlete. But he would drop the pass a lot when you would throw it to him across the middle, right?
Okay.
And when you put safety valve on him, he starts to catch the ball more, which is very nice, super, super nice. So what I would do is, if you were heavy with throwing to your running backs, I would do it. I have it on my Vic. I'm gonna put it at B.
At a B tier? Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, so once again, here is an ability that you are ranking as a B tier, but you say you have it on your quarterback, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Spin cycle. That is basically what? The lesser jukebox? Is that what this next one is?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what? Like a B tier? Like it's good, but just not as good as the S tier ability?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Wide receiver apprentice is our next one here. Now we're into the wide receiver stuff. This one works pretty good, huh?
That one's tight end apprentice.
Oh, this one's tight end apprentice? Is it? Oh, it's got a picture of a tight end above it. Yeah. Tight end apprentice is going to be the next one. This basically helps you, what, get more routes and things like that? Is that what this is doing?
Yeah, post and corner routes I do tight ends. And I loved using it. I loved using it.
Okay.
It's super useful if you are very heavy on your passing tight end scheme. It's not an S tier.
Okay.
I'd put it at B.
Okay.
Yeah, because the only reason I can't rank it higher is so many people end up blocking their tight ends with the way that people play and try to send pressure.
Right.
So it's not the most useful thing, but having it, I loved it.
Matchup nightmare, the old Jason mask. This is basically like the same one with the other matchup nightmare that I say like could work that we ranked over here in C. How would you compare the two?
Before it got patched, it was an S tier.
Okay.
Not a lot of people really used it. And it still works. It still works, just not nearly as well. It's not the simple blind throw anymore, but I use it. Oddly enough, I've used it a lot on my receivers. So that wouldn't make sense because it's for like better catching against linebackers.
Right.
But with the way people play, they're in a lot of 3-4 formations. So there's 4 linebackers standing across the middle of the field. And that's when I would bring them across on slants or stuff or posts.
Okay.
And those are the people that they're going up against, and they would get catches with it.
Right.
I think it's an A tier thing. I think it's very helpful.
Okay. So even though they like kind of buffed it a little bit, it's still effective. Just not as like you just get this and do it every time.
Right.
Tight end red zone threat. Does this work in the red zone? I feel like everyone's always looking to find better red zone schemes. I feel it's probably one of the hardest things to do in Madden, score in the red zone. Does this help?
It does. It's you can get it in the first slot as well for certain tight ends. Okay. So it has value. Okay. Throwing to your tight ends is usually a good thing. If I were implementing this, I would use it on tight end streaks. So they're going straight up the field.
Right.
I'd put it at B. Again, it's like I want to say put it at C, but I don't think it's a C thing. Just because it's like matchup nightmare, except in the red zone only. So it's not quite as effective.
Tank. I mean, that sounds good. It's got to be good, right? Tank.
Tank is what you can't be hit sticked, I believe.
That sounds effective. That sounds good.
I think it is. I've heard it's okay.
Especially since everyone wants to use Enforcer everywhere.
Right, but like when can you use Tank? It's like tier 3 abilities right now only for the most part. Like nobody's using that.
Nobody's using that.
It's not trash, but I put it at C. I'm sure it works.
Okay.
But
wide receiver apprentice.
I love. Yeah, that's the best.
That one's a good one, right? That's an S tier. We all love wide receiver apprentice.
Yeah. Just because he can get routes anywhere. Okay, so we can lump in a lot of these specialists. Together, except for post flag elite.
Okay.
Which is that one there. Post flag elite is the best one.
This is the best one, right? This is the best one. You can just get some crazy stuff out of that. I also feel like you can maybe even do in post and out corner, basically, like in that same thing, because once again you're getting those doubles and like when you get these specialists. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like even at my level, and I've been using post specialist for a long time. Like, bro, it gives you so much of a cushion. Like, you can't throw into like 2 or 3 men coverage, but if you got 1-on-1 with a good post specialist or in specialist, like, I don't know, 8 times out of 10, I feel like I'm winning that. Like, what do you think?
They work. They definitely work. And I would put them all the rest together because they all work basically the same way, and it's just scheme dependent. So your cross specialist, curl, in post, in, out corner, post, double move. I would probably put them at like C or B. Like they work, but it's not like, I don't want you to put them high and someone's like, oh, I gotta get cross specialist.
Right.
Because like, well, do you run crossers? You know?
Yeah, like,
it depends on your scheme.
Want to match the specialist with the scheme that you run. And the reason why I like post specialist is because I run it on my slot apprentice, where I can add a post move to him, basically, and I use that within a lot of my scheme, getting that better post move. So I know that there's like 3, 4, 5 times a game where I'm literally really relying on that ability and getting an advantage in my scheme, you know, and not just being like, oh, I got streak specialist, let's just throw a bomb down the field. Like, I'm using my scheme and then bettering my scheme by adding post specialist to it.
Right.
So we got all of them up there, basically, the cross, the curl, the in, the out, the elites of all of them, streak, all of those right there, pretty much in the B tier, all basically, you know, scheme-based abilities. They're good. Grab and go. This is definitely one that I have been using lately. I have been doing a new scheme with Snap, and you've been watching me play a lot of my games. I was using a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a running back. I went from using Jim Brown activated to Eric Dickerson activated. I played probably last weekend league. I played the entire weekend league with that activation set. This week, I switched. I am no longer have Eric Dickerson activated, and I activated Odell Beckham, and strictly because of this grab and go ability here. And I like it. I think it's made big plays for me.
The grab and go is pretty good. You just have to be able to use it correctly. On bubble screens,
pop pass, baby. That thing is so cheese.
Touch passes, little passes to the running back. It's really good with that. It's really, really good with that.
Right.
But I don't feel a lot of times it would be as helpful. It works. Right. It works.
So do you put this as a B or a C?
It's a B tier to me. I like grab and go. I think it's cute.
Outside apprentice. So obviously you have slot apprentice and then outside apprentice.
Yeah, again, they're basically the same. Depends on your scheme. It's really hard to say that one is better than the other. Okay. Again, like I run slot apprentice because in my formation, I need the slot receiver there. If you're an outside guy, you use outside apprentice. They work. They work really well. The combination of routes you can get, I would put them in A. Okay. Granted, that's for people who enjoy passing the ball.
And then the same thing with slot, basically, right?
Too? Yeah, yeah.
They slot both right there.
If you're a passer, you probably have these, and you should.
Okay. This is one that I've been missing, and I've just hated for a long time that they made this like an ability or something like that. I just wish that we could send playmakers up like we used to, but Playmaker, when do we get this ability?
Soon, and it's really good. Playmaker's really good this year.
So is this an A or is this an S?
It's an S. I want Playmaker.
Yeah, 100% getting Playmaker as soon as we get that. I want Playmaker, yes. Okay. Is Return Man an ability that you can have activated under your special teams like you do with your kicker?
No, just put it in the trash. No one
so like this isn't like an extra see, it would be, I feel like, really good if it like didn't take up an extra slot, but like yeah, we're putting that down there. That's actually our first trash. I'm actually pretty impressed.
Yeah, we're missing some of the other trash ones on the list anyway, like some of the obvious ones like Clutch and Homer.
Yeah, Clutch, Homer, Indoor Baller, and stuff like that.
Right, that crap. Like no.
We left that off. We left that off the list here. Route Apprentice is going to be the next one. Next one here is going to be Tight End Apprentice.
Yeah. So essentially, what this one is you can get 4 hot routes from any receiver position. So they can sort of be anywhere on the field.
Okay. So like lets you move them around, gives them more versatility, basically.
Yeah, it's more like for a tight end where you have a tight end who throws as tight end.
Okay.
Then they could go out and they could be a receiver, or maybe like you could put them at running back, however, you're right, wherever you can get them.
So if you come up with a super cheesy scheme, this could really like help you, like with the cheese.
You could, but again, I don't see the use for it.
All right, so is this a C or a D then?
I'd put it at C because the routes are good.
Okay.
It could be it actually is helpful, but no, C's fine. C's fine.
Route technician. We're almost done. We've gone through almost all of them here.
I used to love route technician. I used to really love it. And that's when we had kind of crappy receivers. If you have a crappy receiver, route technician is really good.
At the beginning of the game, we were all using it.
Right, because it gives you the good cuts, right?
Right.
And what I mean by the good cuts is when you hit the route running thresholds for short, medium, or deep, right?
Right.
But now as the game has gone on, you mostly hit those anyway with your receivers. Everyone's around 90, the really good receivers anyway. It does work. It's just going to work on the lower overall players. Maybe on a theme team, it's really good. Right. It's a C tier. It works. It's fine. But it's just been out sort of dated by the game.
Gotcha. Slot-o-matic.
I've never used it.
Never used it.
It sounds stupid.
It sounds stupid. Is that your professional opinion?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a good one to end on. Is that the last one? And then the rest of them are just offensive abilities. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
O-line abilities, I mean?
Yeah, there are some other quarterback ones in here as well that we didn't have. So I think there's more that we'll have to cover those sort of later on.
Okay.
Because there's the quarterback hot route, right? Hot route master.
Right.
The lead passes on stuff that were missed. And though I think those are all pretty good. We can talk about that at a different time.
Right. And I felt like we can revisit that later. Once again, if you guys like the video, drop a like, let me know. We can revisit this later. And I also feel like it's better if we actually wait for CC and the guys for these abilities to like really come out, be available, and them actually use some of these other ones. Obviously, there's a lot of abilities that aren't in the game yet, and there's a few that CC has got to use. But I mean, we're going to wait until probably like another month or two. We're about to have like another big jump here in overalls with Zero Chill and things like that coming. So more abilities and things will unlock. But you know, as the more stuff comes in, if you guys enjoyed this video, I know where CC lives, and I know all his contact information, so I can get a hold of him and absolutely pester the hell out of him to make sure he will come back and do this video. But we at least have him for 3 more of these. We are going to come back and do defensive next, and then we're going to do the X factors. I don't know if I'm going to do offensive and defensive as kind of one video, or if we'll separate those. We'll kind of see how that goes. But I really do appreciate CC coming on, helping us do this, make it feel like we're, you know, a little bit more of a professional opinion rather than, you know, my experience of, you know, you have the #1 most played weekend league player of all time, or me. I figured I would get the #1 guy. But,
that's a good idea.
I appreciate you very much, CC. Any final thoughts, things that you would like to say?
We are out.
We are out.